Thanks for joining me. This is my second video. I'm really excited just to share a little bit about something that I think that will help you. And that is to help you overcome your fear of what if something goes wrong when I'm traveling. And that could really be helpful in your everyday life. So if you want to learn about 3 things that I think will help you overcome that fear, stick around because I want you to thrive. I want you to rise up and bloom. So let's go. So y'all know, hey, I like to dance, I like to sing, so it's cool that I might break out, before we get to the good stuff. Okay, so one of the first things that I think is important that you need when things go wrong is you need to have your mind clear. You need to not panic and freak out, but you need to be calm enough so you can think about how you're going to get out of this jam that you didn't see coming that you're in. And I'll give you an example of what happened to me. When I first left, got to the airport, went through security, and as soon as I got through the security checkpoint, one of the bags that I had, it just burst. So I wasn't expecting that because, I went to the boutiques they have at the airport, but you guys know how expensive those boutiques can be, right? And I was like, I'm not trying to give all these people my money. I'm just. So anyways, I went into one of the little shops and fortunately they had a reasonable bag. It was reasonably priced and it was better than the one that broke and it, held more. So it was cool. So it was like one of those things where, something kind of bad happened, but good comes out of it. I mean, kind of on a small scale. That's a small example of something that turned out better. But that was just a little snafu, and snafus are gonna happen. But the main thing I want to say about that is, be just have your mind clear enough to know that hey, something's gonna happen, and when it happens, I'm gonna be able to deal with it. You got to have the mental capacity to deal with the things that'll happen when you're traveling, because things are going to happen. And it's not just when you're traveling; it's going to happen in life too. But particularly when you're traveling, because things you're in new environments, you're in unfamiliar setting, and you're going to need everything you've got. You're going to need all your mental faculties to be able to get you out of that situation, or to think about what am I going to do to get myself out of this situation. The next thing that I think that you need when you're traveling abroad is you need to be flexible. Things are going to be foreign. You're in a foreign country. So you've got to have the mindset to be flexible with whatever happens. You can ask questions, learn about whatever it is, the situation. They just might have some ruling or, something you're not familiar with. Most of the stuff is not going to be familiar to you when you get to another country, but you've got to be flexible. If you go start out traveling expecting things to be like they are in the U.S., then you might need to rethink your travel plans, because things are going to be different. They're not going to be tailored to you. When you land or set foot in that other place, it's not going to be what it's not going to be what you expected sometime. You've got to be flexible. You've got to roll with the punches. Get information about it so you'll become comfortable with whatever the situation, whatever the case may be. But you got to figure out how to be flexible, how to adapt. And as there's popular word going around now, pivot. How do you pivot to this new situation that you're in that you didn't see coming? So flexibility is key. You can't go traveling with the mindset that, with the expectation that things are going to be like what you're used to and what you expect and even what you read. Because, as much as we, read about a place or Google it and find the information, it is not until you have boots on the ground that you see how things really are. And they may not be quite as you expected. Yeah, this is the street that I'm staying on. Can you see how high that water is? It's pretty high. It's raining. There's another storm. I gotta get out in this. I'm calling a taxi. That was not what I was expecting. But you gotta be flexible. The third thing that I think is important is for you to make sure you do your due diligence, because doing your due diligence will lessen the fear, so you'll have more options when you're doing your research to find out, to help fill in those blanks of the what ifs. So I had a huge what if scenario hit me when I first landed in Tulum. I wanted to be adventurous, and so I stayed at a hostel. I stayed at the Banana Hostel in Tulum. They have a dorm room for the women, they have a dorm room for the men. So I was all adventurous, so I thought, I'm gonna go all out and do this hostel thing. Plus it's, it's budget friendly. So I stayed at the hostel, and I gave myself, I think, 9 days at the hostel, because I figured that was a short enough period of time that if I didn't like it, I would still have time to find, someplace else. So everything was fine for probably like the first 3 days. On the fourth day, something happened, and that was all the other female travelers at the hostel, they had moved on, so that just left me. Now that in itself there wasn't anything really wrong with that, but what was wrong was the day before that the female travelers left, the lock to our dorm was broke, to our dorm room was broke. So then I felt I felt uncomfortable, because here I was in this hostel in an unfamiliar place in a foreign country, and my bedroom door is not secure when I'm in there sleeping at night, or during the daytime when, if I wanted to lock it, I couldn't do that. And the day before, we had all talked to the owner about getting the door fixed. But one thing about Mexico, they are not on your time schedule. Okay, just know that. So that's where that flexibility comes in. But this was something I wasn't really trying to be that flexible with, because security was important to me. So I could tell nothing was getting done about the door. So I thought, what am I going to do? Because I need another place to stay. So what are the resources that I pulled on? Okay, I had joined Facebook groups. So that's a huge thing. If you want to travel abroad, you want to join some Facebook groups. I don't care what country you're going to. There's groups on Facebook that you can find. There are people that are living there or going there. And so, there's this information pool. And so you can ask questions, find out about different things. So I highly recommend you need to join some Facebook groups to find out about whatever area you're in. So I had made some connections with some really cool women. And so one of the ladies, her name is Anne Marie, and she has a blog, and she has a YouTube channel, and I'll put that down below. I called on her. I wrote her and told her, hey, this situation is happening, because she's traveled a lot, and I just kind of want to get her feedback, and she might have some options for me, maybe another place in Tulum. So I called on her. I also called on Indigo, another friend I had met in one of the groups, who really coached me the entire probably 4 to 5 weeks before I came, just she talked me off some ledges, like it's going to be okay. And, she just told me about different things about Mexico and about Merida, the city that I ended up in. So I had that resource. So if I wasn't connected to the Facebook groups, I'm not sure what I would have done other than, book another hotel. But, on the spot, having to do something, it can be really difficult. So, and as it was, this was kind of unnerving. So, but it was good that I had people to reach out to. So that gave, that was another option. So I called on Anne Marie. She told me about, Playa del Carmen, and she also told me about Merida. And we talked about what my goals were a little bit about, I wanted some place where I could live. And she just thought that Merida sounded like it would be a better fit for me. And I had always had Merida in the back of my mind because that was probably one of the first places I thought of going to Mexico, but they didn't have a beach nearby, so that's why, I started out in Tulum. And then my other friend, Indigo, she lived in Merida, and she wanted me to come to Merida, and so she kind of did her thing. And so guess what? I called Indigo, and she knew somebody that had a vacancy, had an apartment there. She thought they had a vacancy, so she called. She confirmed it. They had it, and within 24 hours, I was on a bus going to Merida. I saw the apartment. I liked it, and I got it. And so that was all because I had some resources. I had some people that I was connected to that helped me out. That was a little bit more comfortable than if I knew no one, had made no connections, and I knew I needed to overcome that situation right away. And through the help of those two women, they helped me. They helped me move to my new home, in Merida. So having options, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan Z. Just give yourself more options. I think it's good when we think, well, what if, and fill in that blank. But you can go down a rabbit hole of so many what ifs that you'll be paralyzed with fear and you won't do it. So that's why I have suggested these 3 things. It's not rocket science. It's simple things. But I think on this side, if you think about employing those 3 things, it'll help you in the long run when you venture out to do something and in your planning stage, to think about getting your mind clear and not panicking. And one of the things that I do when something happens that I'm not expecting or a snafu happens is I kind of have a mantra. So get your mantra. My mantra is, this too shall pass. Like, this too shall pass. And so, yeah, because I'll think, this time tomorrow I'm not going to be in this situation. I don't know how I'm going to get out of it, but I know I'm going to get out of it. And the other thing is, think of all the other snafus you've had in your life, big and small, and you got through those. You got through those, so you'll get through this. Yeah. So you'll think of those things that you overcame, and you can overcome this. But I think these 3 things they're small things, but they can be a big thing. It can seem simple, but I think employing these 3 things will go a long way. Thanks so much for watching. I hope the information was beneficial to you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also, I'd like to remind you that I'm a life coach, and I provide services for women over 50 to help them to find their next chapter in life, so to speak, to help them with their next goals they want to accomplish. I also provide consultation if you want to move abroad. I'll leave links below for both of those. And on that note, I'm going to sign off. This is Tony Denise saying take care, and I hope to see you on next Wednesday. Bye-bye.